Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2026 Yale University and University of New Haven Joint Military Commissioning Ceremony. I'm Cadet Marcus Finley, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies. We are gathered here to continue a tradition rooted in military history and custom. Today, one Staff Sergeant will commission as a Second Lieutenant in the United States Army. One Gunnery Sergeant will commission as a Second Lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. 7 Midshipmen will commission as Ensigns in the United States Navy. 12 Cadets will commission as Second Lieutenants in the United States Air Force. 1 Cadet will commission as a Second Lieutenant in the United States Space Force. These young men and women join the ranks of those in our armed services who have commissioned before them. We would like to thank all of you gathered here today for supporting these new officers and for joining us for this momentous occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation. Scott A. Strobel, Provost, Yale University. Kimberly M. Goff Cruz, Secretary and Vice President for University Life at Yale University. Pericles Lewis, Dean of Yale College. Michael Saltiel, Yale University Chaplain. Captain Gabriel Valadares, United States Army, Professor of Military Sciences, Army ROTC, University of Connecticut. Colonel Les Oberg, United States Air Force, Commander, Air Force ROTC Detachment 9, Yale University. Captain Bill Johnson, United States Navy, Commander, Naval ROTC, Yale University. Mari McGinnis, President, Yale University. Today's honored guest and keynote speaker, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, retired, United States Navy, 33rd Chief of Naval Operations. Please remain standing for the playing of Ruffles and Flourishes, the national anthem, and the invocation. Chaplain Saltiel will now deliver the invocation.
Almighty God, whom we call on by many names, we are full of gratitude for all the gifts you have blessed us with, the ability to care for others, to pursue justice, to serve with purpose and mercy. We know today is a blessing and a burden. We in this chapel are filled with anticipation and apprehension of the duties and responsibilities we impart onto these young souls. May they lead lives of service and honor, exemplifying a sense of duty and respect in all that they do. May they embody both pride and humility. Compassionate God, be with them as they embark on this call. Provide them with wisdom and good judgment. Fill them with courage and commitment. May we, your children of many traditions, be blessed by your deep and abiding love as you have blessed all of creation on this day and all days, as we say, Amen.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2026 Joint Military Commissioning Ceremony. This ceremony represents a milestone in the lives of these young men and women who are being commissioned as officers here today. It marks their entry into the armed forces of the United States of America. Their dedication demonstrates commitment to the preservation of peace in an ever-changing world. Their responsibility to serve as leaders and sacrifice for their country begins today. At this time, I would like to welcome Colonel Les Oberg, Commander of Air Force ROTC at Yale University, to the podium.
All right. Well, at least it's not hot, so we have that going for us. What a day, all right? And what a way to end it. Thank you all for braving and enduring many momentous ceremonies and celebrations today, and welcome to the culminating event. It's a real honor to speak with you briefly about these programs, this institution, and most importantly, the amazing leaders seated to my left. So welcome to the Yale University Joint Commissioning Ceremony 2026, and thank you to the family, friends, and supporters of the Army, Navy, and Air Force ROTC programs. Let me first start by saying it's not possible for ROTC programs to run and for these cadets and midshipmen to thrive without an immense amount of support and kindness. And across the spectrum of university functions, Yale hands down ensures our no-fail mission, well, doesn't fail. Throughout my 3 years in this position, every task, every challenge, and every difficulty we've encountered has been met with a how can we help? And a how can we fix this attitude? That culture doesn't happen by accident. It comes from the top. So I'd like to welcome and thank President McInnes, Provost Strobel, Secretary Goff Cruz, and Dean Lewis for being here today and championing that institution-wide culture of partnership. I'd also like to thank Battell Saltiel for yet another uplifting and meaningful invocation and for hosting us in this ever-incredible place. Further, I welcome our guests and partners from the universities of Quinnipiac, New Haven, Southern Connecticut State, Sacred Heart, Wesleyan, Fairfield, and Western Connecticut. Your cadets face out-of-the-ordinary challenges, and we can't thank you enough for helping to make their journeys easier and successful. I also want to recognize George Levesque, Becky Tynan, Holly Hermes, and Phil Kaplan for not only cleaning up the mess when we break things, but also for helping to make Yale a place where individuals from all walks of life can thrive. Our cadets and midshipmen love this place, no doubt due to your efforts. And to Tom Duffy and all of our musical guests, our ceremony is so much better because of your exceptional performance. Though I might prefer some white stripes or maybe some Smashing Pumpkins, we still appreciate what you played for us today. Thank you for participating. And my partners in crime, Ted Wittenstein and Marla Gia, who were willing to partner with and take a risk with our program to improve the curriculum for our cadets. Your partnership means the world to us. I would also like to commend Cadets Samantha Tischler and Marcus Finley, as well as Trisha Neely, Liz Villadakis, and Nate Lucchini, who worked so diligently to put this program together today. You absolutely crushed it. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Finally, I'd like to spend some time recognizing two individuals who will unfortunately be leaving Yale after many years of exceptional service. While I was not here in 2011 during what I'm told was a spirited debate concerning the return of ROTC to Yale, I understand that Professor Paul Kennedy played an instrumental role in bringing our programs back to campus. Not only was his influence essential to that decision, but he also taught the first combined Yale ROTC course, and his scholarship advancing the discipline of military history simply made Yale ROTC students better. Both this university and our programs are so very lucky to have had such a respected, talented, and dedicated partner for so many years. Professor Kennedy, if you would please stand. On behalf of the Army, Navy, and Air Force ROTC programs, thank you so very much for all you did for the Army, Navy, and Air Force ROTC programs. We're also saying farewell to the best advisor an ROTC program could ask for. Risa Sodi is departing us after 30 years of service to Yale, and we could not be more thankful for her commitment, guidance, and willingness to break rules on our behalf. Please don't ask. Risa, not only are our programs stronger because of your guidance, kindness, and love, but I am personally a better leader from having worked with you over the past 3 years. We wish you the best in retirement, and we would love to recognize your selfless service to our programs in this university, if you wouldn't mind standing. And now to the reason we're all here, to the class of 2026. If each of you could do me a favor and please stand up. Now find your friends and family in the audience, look them in the eye, go ahead, and give them a big round of applause from you. Oh, you guys are great, thank you, it's awesome. You can sit down now, that's all. To the families of our graduates, the support, encouragement, and occasional corrective actions you took are the reason these young men and women are here today. Though young, they are leaders of compassion, character, and instinct like none I've witnessed before. And no doubt that is a direct result of your influence and dedication to their well-being. Thank you all for what you've done to nurture this next generation of military leaders. And to our graduates, our nation's newest military officers, I'll simply say this: you're an inspiration to each of us. And I know you will serve our nation well, and at a moment when our nation probably needs you more than ever. You are where you belong. Make us proud. The guest speaker today, who will wax much more eloquently than I have, is Admiral Lisa Franchetti, a 1985 graduate of Northwestern University. Admiral Franchetti was commissioned through the very same program that produced these officers before you today, the Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps. Designated a surface warfare officer in 1989, she has commanded at every level and deployed in every fleet, with nearly 20 years of operational and at-sea experience. Admiral Franchetti finished her career as the Chief of Naval Operations, the highest position in the United States Navy, and was the first Naval ROTC graduate ever to hold that office. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce Admiral Lisa Franchetti.
Thank you. Thank you, Les. Wow. Well, good afternoon, everyone. What a momentous day for Yale and in the lives of these incredible young leaders. President McGinnis, Provost Strobel, Vice President Goffs-Cruz, Dean Lewis, Chaplain Saltiel, Professor Kennedy, faculty, other members of the Yale team, thank you very much for being here. Your presence this afternoon, at the end of a very full couple of days of graduation events in the heat, says everything about Yale's commitment to the ROTC program and the deep connection to military service. It does not go unnoticed. Distinguished guests, veterans, families, and friends, thank you so much for being here to celebrate this extraordinary moment of transition, when 22 midshipmen and cadets will take their place in the long line of distinguished Yale officers who have served this nation. It is truly an honor to be here with you today. As you heard, as the first Navy ROTC graduate to serve as the Chief of Naval Operations, and as we celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps. For a century, NROTC has been one of the nation's great foundries for Navy and Marine Corps officers, growing from 300 students at 6 universities in 1926 to more than 5,000 midshipmen at 169 colleges and universities today. But today's ceremony is not just a Navy celebration, it's a joint one, representing all the branches of our military, and fittingly so, because Yale has a storied relationship with ROTC. As many of you know, it was one of the first universities to establish Army ROTC back in 1917. It was one of the 6 original schools to form a Naval ROTC unit in 1926, and was one of the first schools to bring Air Force ROTC on board when it was established in 1947. The programs left campus in 1972 during the Vietnam War, but were very fortunate to return in 2012 with the full support of Yale. The units have been steadily growing in size and in stature, and I would argue in importance, with the deep support of the student body, the faculty, the community members, and the entire alumni community. President McGinnis, you have noted that when the American Revolution began, half of the officers in Connecticut's militia were Yale graduates. This bond is not an accident, it's a tradition. And today, with nearly 60 veterans in Yale College alone, it is very much alive. And that matters because Yale has always sent leaders of character into the world's most difficult moments. Let's start with America's first spy, Nathan Hale, class of 1773, commissioned as a Continental Army captain 250 years ago on January 1st, 1776. I just saw his commissioning certificate, which was signed by John Hancock, on display in the Banachie Library, just a couple of steps from where we're standing right now. Captain Hale was executed by the British at the age of 21, and his reported final words, "I regret that I have but one life to give in the service of my country," still ring true to military leaders today. Other amazing alums, David Bushnell, class of 1775, designed America's first submarine. David Ingalls, class of 1920, America's first Navy flying ace in World War I. George H.W. Bush, class of 1948, flew 58 combat missions in the Pacific and served as our 41st president. And Rear Admiral Grace Hopper, master's in 1930, PhD in 1934, the pioneer of computer science, whose work laid the foundation for how software is written to this day. They were leaders, innovators, pioneers, and patriots. The same thread of character runs through all of them, and now through all of you. The legacy that you are joining today runs deep, and it runs proud. And that is the legacy that these 22 young men and women are stepping into today. And like those who came before, I know, just as Colonel Oberg said, none of them got here on their own. So to the parents, families, and friends, let me say thank you. There is no doubt that your steadfast love, your support, your tireless encouragement played an outsized role in getting them to this day. I know you must be so proud. And I know that that support will continue, and be even more important in the months and years ahead. Thank you for giving us your sons and daughters, for providing them a strong foundation, and for enabling them to embark on a journey of service. One more big round of applause for all the parents, families, and friends out there. And of course, in addition to their first families, these young men and women have had a second family, and that's their Navy, Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, and Space Force family at their units, on summer training, and through a vibrant veterans community here at Yale. Leaders and experiences that challenged them, taught them the skills, the values, and the standards they will need to hit the ground, the deck plates, and I guess air and space, running. Captain Johnson, Colonel Oberg, Captain Villadares, and the broader staff, cadre, and veterans community, thank you for your leadership and for sharing your personal experiences with your midshipmen and cadets. It makes a tremendous difference. And I want to offer a special recognition to Colonel Oberg, who retires in just 4 days at the end of 30 years of service. Les, your legacy will live on in those that you have trained, led, and mentored, especially these 22. Congratulations and thank you for a lifetime of service. I know another part of that family, the second family, is the Yale family, and I will just echo the words of Colonel Oberg when I recognize two people whose work has made an incredible difference and really makes these programs possible every day. Dean Risa Sodi, retiring this month after 37 years. Thank you for your advocacy. And Holly Hermes, Yale's liaison for Veterans and Military Affairs. We all could not do it without you. And one more round of applause for these two amazing leaders. So, now to our soon-to-be ensigns, second lieutenants, and guardian. I imagine that these last few weeks, and even this day, have seemed to just fly by. You graduated this morning, and now this afternoon you commission. Two of the most significant moments of your lives in a single day. But I encourage you to pause right now and really savor this moment. Take it all in. Let's look back to where you started 4 years ago. Some of you arrived with a clear sense of purpose. Some of you came from military families, or maybe you already served in the military. And for some, this was a lifelong dream. But some of you, maybe you weren't so sure, just like me. Maybe you showed up curious but uncertain. And maybe you wondered in those early weeks whether military service was truly right for you. And maybe somewhere in that first year, you almost walked away. It may seem like light years ago, but many of you began at Yale the way most Yaleys do. You got dropped off on campus, and then a day and a half later set off on your first year orientation trip, the foot trip. Becoming strangers, meeting strangers, becoming friends on a trail. You were in 4 days of backpacking off the grid, no cell phones. It's a Yale tradition, not a military one, but it's one that taught you something about yourself. The power of shared hardship, and the imperative to trust those around you. And all of that before you even put on a uniform. And across the 3 ROTC programs, your experiences were different, but in many ways the same. And they all led you to this day. For the Navy and Marine Corps midshipmen, a small, tight group here at Yale, your classes, summer cruises, putting together the impactful Leadership and Strategy Conference, at first, being hesitant to reach out to the nation's senior leaders, but quickly realizing everyone wants to come to Yale. Whether it was Admiral Mullen or General Berger, Paul Kennedy, all of your own storied professors, sparking critical conversations on today's most important strategic topics. For our Air Force and Space Force cadets, spread across multiple universities, at first separate, but then becoming one through the Arnold Air Society events, your scenario training over on East Rock, and Thursday morning post-drill breakfast, which I know you're going to miss. You created 2 permanent squadrons named after Yale leaders of character, Nathan Hale and Kingman Douglas, and transformed your dining in from a shoestring gathering into a memorable event at the Peabody Museum and then to the Elm City Club. And then our Army cadet, a green to gold cadet who previously served for 8 years in the Army as a non-commissioned officer, earning your master's at Yale, being part of the University of New Haven Army ROTC, and your prior enlisted experience offered you a unique journey. First, connecting with the younger generation, and then sharing your own experience in the Army about what life is like in the Army beyond just ROTC. You got to participate in an increasingly challenging series of field exercises, from local and regional field training exercises to the month-long national CST at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Last summer, where you were tested in every single way, learning to work with new teammates from all around the country in very difficult conditions. And for all of you, your shared memories of early morning PT, Commander's Cup competitions, and the President's Review. And of course, our long-standing football game rivalries. But over the past 4 years, you've had a wide variety of courses and experiences curated to meet the demands of each of your services. But they were all focused on a single purpose: to develop leaders of character. So now look around you. Look at who you've become, individually and together. You've transformed. You rebuilt transitions in the wake of the pandemic. You brought more energy and welcomed more students. And you created a spirit of connection that people who come after you will benefit from for years to come. And underpinning that ROTC experience is the education you received at Yale. It is not separate from your military preparation. It is the foundation of it. As Colonel Oberg shared with me, Yale does the heavy lifting when it comes to developing leaders. Critical thinking, ethical reasoning, communicating across difference, these are force multipliers that will serve you in any environment. So as you prepare to take the oath, you might be wondering, am I ready to lead in the fleet, in the field, in the air, in space, and in combat? I know I was asking myself that very same question when I was sitting where you are now. But I've already given you that answer. Think about what you just reflected on. You learned from each other, you leaned into each other's strengths, and you overcame challenges together. You held each other accountable, and you kept each other moving forward. There is no doubt the answer is a resounding yes. You are all ready. So let me offer just a little bit of context about the world you're stepping into. When I was commissioned way back in 1985, the world was dangerous, but in many ways it was a lot simpler. The Cold War was at its height. The Soviet Union was our adversary. The lines were clear. The threat was defined. We knew who we were up against, and our services generally operated independently, each with its own doctrine, its own lanes, and its own way of war. The world you are entering today is more complex and in many ways more dangerous. From the Red Sea to the Strait of Hormuz in the Western Pacific, on the front lines of NATO and the Korean Peninsula, from the Atlantic to the Baltic and the Black Seas, in space and in cyberspace, our joint warfighting team is on the front lines every single day, providing options to our nation's decision makers and standing ready to preserve the peace, respond in crisis, and win decisively in war if called to do so. The threats are real, and they are growing. And the character of war itself is changing before our very eyes. Autonomous systems, artificial intelligence, directed energy, information warfare, these are not future concerns. They are today's battlefield. No service will ever fight alone. Every domain, sea, air, land, space, and cyberspace is connected and contested in a joint warfighting ecosystem. And it's the nation that can innovate, integrate, and synchronize these new capabilities most effectively that will gain an enduring advantage. That is your challenge and your opportunity. I know in Captain Johnson's Ethics in the Profession of Arms course this spring, you've had honest conversations about what it means to step into the world right now. And I'm told that you embrace that reality not with fear or hesitation, but with readiness, excitement, and resolve. So as you head out on the next chapter, let me leave you with 3 thoughts. First, leadership matters. Be a leader of character. We are all leaders first. Whether you're going to go to flight school, new power school, submarine training, the basic school, intel, cyberspace, or straight out to your units. If you stay focused on the things that matter, integrity, your people, teamwork, professional excellence, and safety, all underpinned by a positive attitude and a winning mindset, there will be nothing that your team cannot do under your leadership and guidance. Second, always believe in yourself, believe in your teams, and believe in the power of your dreams. You can do anything you set your mind to in your service and in your life. Don't lose the momentum you've built here or your appreciation for the power of relationships and teamwork. A shared sense of purpose is powerful. And third, be open to the possibilities. When I was in your shoes, I wanted to drive to a very certain future, like I was on I-95 going from Florida to Maine. You knew what was at every exit and how long it was going to take to get there. But what I found is that life is a lot more like a meandering Potomac River. There are unexpected rivers, or unexpected rapids, blind curves, eddies where you get stuck, and branches and forks where you have to choose. It's in those moments that there are possibilities. Stay open to them. Bloom wherever you are planted, and the right opportunities will come your way. Admiral Nimitz once said, and I'm paraphrasing, learn all you can, do your best, and don't worry about the things you can't control. I found that bit of wisdom when I was a midshipman, and it has helped me every step of the way. Focus on what is yours to own, your effort, your attitude, your integrity, your preparation, and your care for the people that you lead, and let the rest go. Lead, believe, and be open to the possibilities. That's 40 years of reflection summed up in 8 words. And I hope they serve you as well on your journey as they did on mine. In just a moment, you are going to raise your right hand and you're going to take an oath to the Constitution. An oath to defend the ideals that are enshrined by our founding fathers 250 years ago. The same ideals that Nathan Hale gave his life for. They're not abstract words, but living principles. To lead with integrity, to place the mission and the welfare of those you serve above yourself, and the ability to exercise authority with humility and accountability. These are the principles that will guide you on your journey ahead. Thank you for choosing to serve our nation in uniform, to serve something greater than yourself, and to seize this opportunity to make a difference both today and far into the future. I am so proud of all of you, and I'm excited to see you joining the Joint Warfighting Team. So congratulations, and bravo Zulu, that's Navy speak for well done. You all have a very bright future ahead of you, and I can't wait to see where you all take it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Admiral Franchetti. We sincerely appreciate you being with us today. At this time, I would like to welcome Maury McInnes, President of Yale University, to the podium.
Admiral Franchetti, thank you for that wonderful address and for being with us here today. Hello, everyone. So glad to have us assembled today. And thank you for that warm welcome and for the invitation to be part of this very special Yale tradition. It is a true privilege to be here with you today at a moment that marks both a culmination and a new beginning. To our soon-to-be commissioned officers, today, you join a long and illustrious line of Yale graduates who have exemplified our highest ideals of leadership and service. From the Revolutionary War to now, generations of Yaleys have served honorably in times of peace and peril. That proud tradition of service continues to thrive, embodied in each of you, Yale's next generation of leaders. And to our Eli Whitney veterans, who will be coined today, your service has already shaped the world in profound ways. You arrived at Yale with experiences forged in some of the most challenging circumstances, bringing perspectives and a high purpose that have enriched our campus. So in joining this community, you have strengthened it, reminding us daily what it means to serve and to sacrifice as you contributed to our everlasting pursuit of knowledge. And I would like to add my appreciation to those that have gone before, and thanking somebody else who has served Yale in a very different way, and that is Risa Sodi, who is retiring, as was mentioned before. Across the time of her tenure, she has helped transform how Yale College supports students like our students here. Under her leadership, the Eli Whitney Student Program has quadrupled in size. The number of undergraduate veterans has increased tenfold, and the Army ROTC program has gone from 2 cadets to 17. And on behalf of Yale, Risa, thank you for all you've done. As I shared during our Veterans Day ceremony in November, I grew up seeing military service through the eyes of my father, who served as a Judge Advocate General in the Air Force. Through him, I witnessed firsthand the sense of duty and quiet valor that defines those who wear the uniform. I also came to understand that true leadership is not necessarily measured by rank or recognition, but by responsibility, humility, and a deep commitment to a cause greater than oneself. This is, I believe, the essence of today's ceremony. Each of you has answered a call that transcends personal ambition. And in doing so, you are now stewards of a legacy spanning centuries, joining generations of Yale alumni who have worn the uniform with courage, integrity, and honor. So on behalf of the entire Yale community, I want to thank you for your leadership and for your example. We are deeply proud of you and equally grateful for all you will accomplish in service of our nation and of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, President McInnes. Yale has a storied legacy of military service and the interactions within the community of student veterans, ROTC students, faculty, and staff bring something special to Yale's campus life. We are lucky to be at an institution that trains and prepares students to serve in the military and trains and prepares veterans for leadership after military service as well. President McInnes continues the tradition of presenting the Yale President's Challenge Coin. Each new lieutenant and ensign will receive a coin with their commissioning certificate later in the ceremony. But first, President McInnes will recognize newly graduated student veterans from Yale College. Eli Whitney veterans, please come forward. This year's cohort consists of 10 graduating seniors who earned Yale College degrees following their enlistment and completion of their military service. Timothy Bang, U.S. Air Force. Genevieve Chase, U.S. Army. Chance Flanagan, U.S. Marine Corps. Thomas Gio, U.S. Air Force. Paul Glenn, U.S. Air Force. Marcelo Green, U.S. Navy. Flavio Gutierrez, U.S. Marine Corps. Cameron Mahone, U.S. Air Force. Patrick McGrath, U.S. Coast Guard, and Fraser Wright, U.S. Army. Thank you for your service. Cadets and midshipmen, please take your places on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the part of the ceremony for which these cadets and midshipmen have worked over the last 4 years, the oath of office. Please rise as the oath of office is administered for Admiral Lisa Franchetti. To those being commissioned as officers of the United States Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force. Please be seated. Lieutenants in the first row, please step forward and join your families on the lower stage to pin on your new rank. Feel free to move about, take photos, and enjoy this moment. Now being pinned on by their families or loved ones. Second Lieutenant Muhammad Ali. Second Lieutenant O'Hagan. Second Lieutenant Thompson. Second Lieutenant Varghese. And Second Lieutenant Smith. Will the first row of lieutenants please be seated? Lieutenants in the second row, please step forward and join your families on the lower stage to pin on your new rank. Now being pinned on by their families or loved ones, Second Lieutenant Duran, Second Lieutenant Eastler, Second Lieutenant Fan, Second Lieutenant Katie Callow A, Second Lieutenant Katie Callow N, and Second Lieutenant McCog. Will the second row of lieutenants please be seated? Ensigns and lieutenants in the third row, please step forward and join your families on the lower stage to pin on your new rank. Now being pinned on by their families or loved ones, Ensign O'Neill, Ensign Plumano, Ensign Redondo, Second Lieutenant Addison, and Second Lieutenant Azzi. Will the third row of ensigns and lieutenants please be seated? Lieutenants and ensigns in the fourth row, please step forward and join your families on the lower stage to pin on your new rank. Now being pinned on are their families or loved ones. Second Lieutenant Graham, Second Lieutenant Chu, Ensign Adams, Ensign Copper, Ensign Hamilton, and Ensign Montegudo. Will the fourth row of ensigns and lieutenants please be seated? At this time, I ask Admiral Franchetti, President McInnes, Captain Gabriel Valladares, Captain Johnson, and Colonel Oberg to make their way to the stage. We will now present the Distinguished Graduate Awards, commissioning certificates, and challenge coins to our new ensigns and second lieutenants. The Distinguished Graduate from the Navy, Ensign Alex Montegudo. The Distinguished Graduate from the Air Force, Second Lieutenant Zoe Duran. The distinguished graduate from the Air Force, Second Lieutenant Kylan Smith. We will now present the commissioning certificates and challenge coins to all of our new officers. Second Lieutenant Tia Graham. Second Lieutenant Tia Graham is from Pekin, Illinois, and has graduated from Yale University with a master's degree in archaeological studies. Second Lieutenant Graham will report to Schofield Barracks, Oahu, Hawaii, and will serve as a military intelligence officer. Second Lieutenant Brandon Chu. Second Lieutenant Chu is from Hillsboro, Oregon, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in mechanical engineering. Second Lieutenant Chu will report to the basic school at Marine Corps Base Quantico, Virginia, and will serve as a Marine aviator. Ensign Alexander Adams. Ensign Adams is from Annapolis, Maryland, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in physics and a master's in history. Ensign Adams will report to Naval Station Pensacola, Florida, and will serve as a naval aviator. Ensign Gavin Copper. Ensign Copper is from Jacksonville, Florida, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in mechanical engineering. Ensign Copper will report to Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida, and will serve as a naval aviator. Ensign Carter Hamilton. Ensign Hamilton is from Alexandria, Virginia, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in computer science and economics. Ensign Hamilton will report to Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida, and will serve as a naval aviator. Ensign Alex Montegudo. Ensign Montegudo is from Jacksonville, Florida, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in economics and political science. Ensign Montegudo will report to Naval Nuclear Power School, Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina, and will serve as a submarine warfare officer. Ensign Regina May Obniel. Ensign Obniel is from Port Orchid, Washington, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in psychology. Ensign Obniel will report to Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida, and will serve as a naval aviator. Ensign Aiden Pulmana. Ensign Pulmana is from Sugar Land, Texas, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in physics and chemical engineering. Ensign Pulmana will report to Naval Reactors Headquarters, Washington Navy Yard, District of Columbia, and will serve as a Naval Reactors engineer. Ensign Kleber Redondo. Ensign Redondo is from Cliffside Park, New Jersey, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in physics and economics. Ensign Redondo will report to USS Frank E. Peterson Jr., Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and will serve as a surface warfare officer. Second Lieutenant Sealy Addison. Second Lieutenant Addison is from Oakwood, Ohio, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in statistics and data science. Second Lieutenant Addison will report to Intelligence School, Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas. Second Lieutenant Michael Azzi. Second Lieutenant Azzi is from New Fairfield, Connecticut, and has graduated from Western Connecticut State University with a master's degree in Homeland Security. Second Lieutenant Azzi will report to Intelligence School, Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas. Second Lieutenant Zoe Duran. Second Lieutenant Duran is from Norton, Massachusetts, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in mechanical engineering. Second Lieutenant Duran will report to pilot training, Vance Air Force Base, Oklahoma. Second Lieutenant Savannah Eastler. Second Lieutenant Eastler is from Rockport, Maine, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in cognitive science. Second Lieutenant Eastler will report Information Operations Training, Herbert Field, Florida. Second Lieutenant Corey Fan. Second Lieutenant Fan is from Birmingham, Alabama, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in mathematics. Second Lieutenant Fan will report as a Cyberspace Operations Officer to Cyberspace Initial Skills Training, Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi. Second Lieutenant Andrian Katie Callow. Second Lieutenant Katie Callow is from Allentown, New Jersey, and has graduated from University of New Haven with a degree in criminal justice investigative sciences. Second Lieutenant Katie Callow will report to Nuclear Missiles Training, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Second Lieutenant Nazar Katie Callow. Second Lieutenant Katie Callow is from Allentown, New Jersey, and has graduated from University of New Haven with a degree in criminal justice, police science. Second Lieutenant Katie Callow will report to Nuclear Missiles Training, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Second Lieutenant Chardonnay McCogg. Second Lieutenant McCogg is from Bloomfield, Connecticut, and has graduated from Southern Connecticut State University with a degree in nursing. Second Lieutenant McCogg will report as Clinical Nurse Officer, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. Second Lieutenant Haroon Muhammad Ali. Second Lieutenant Muhammad Ali is from Plano, Texas, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in computer science and economics. Second Lieutenant Muhammad Ali will report as a Cyberspace Operations Officer to Cyberspace Initial Skills Training, Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi. Second Lieutenant Sean O'Hagan. Second Lieutenant O'Hagan is from Rockville Center, New York, and has graduated from Quinnipiac University with a degree in mechanical engineering. Second Lieutenant O'Hagan will report as a civil engineering officer to McConnell Air Force Base, Kansas. Second Lieutenant Jack Thompson. Second Lieutenant Thompson is from Quaker Hill, Connecticut, and has graduated from University of New Haven with a degree in mechanical engineering. Second Lieutenant Thompson will report to pilot training. Second Lieutenant Thomas Varghese. Second Lieutenant Varghese is from Draper, Utah, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in economics and psychology. Second Lieutenant Varghese will report as an officer of special investigations to Yokota Air Force Base, Japan. Second Lieutenant Kylan Smith. Second Lieutenant Smith is from Columbus, Ohio, and has graduated from Yale University with a degree in physics and economics. Second Lieutenant Smith will attend graduate study at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Following graduate study, Second Lieutenant Smith will go on to officer training course, Peterson Space Force Base, Colorado. Thank you, Admiral Franchetti, President McInnes, Captain Valadares, Captain Johnson, and Colonel Oberg. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. I present to you the newest ensigns and second lieutenants of our United States Armed Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force service songs. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the joint commissioning ceremony. You are all cordially invited to a reception at the Elm City Club immediately following the ceremony. Flags will be set outside the Battell Chapel near Old Campus for those wishing to take first salute photos. You are also welcome to walk over to Beinecke Plaza for additional photo opportunities. Please remain standing for the departure of the official party and the United States military's newest ensigns and second lieutenants.